What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be jumping into the LR Gods EZA here. Normally I would be on stage 30 of the EZAs, but today we are only on stage 11. As you can see here, I've just finished stage 10 to, get all of the EZA medals for them. I am not going to run stage 30 on these EZAs. I'm trying to penny pinch for time here. Just because there is not a ton of time left for the Training in the Clouds event, so I'm trying not to spend extra time grinding other things in game right now. I'm really trying to focus all of my Dokkan time on that. That's also why I'm very behind on a lot of the challenge content, right? Because most of those challenge content stages are going to be around for the rest of the future. So I'm just really focusing on like the limited time content, and then obviously EZAs are giving me access to new buffed characters and stuff, so these are worthwhile to do right now, especially because they will disappear for a while and then they won't be available for months once their event period ends, before they eventually return. So yeah, we're just going to jump in on stage 11 right here. So for the LR Gods, it looks like the effective category is Super Bosses, which is actually super unfortunate. We are able to get through this with just a Broly team, as he is our strongest, like, pure Super Bosses leader that is also an LR, right? Because you do want to make sure that you have as many legendary power characters as possible to activate that legendary power link. But yeah, there are quite a few powerful LRs. They don't have a ton of synergy or anything, but their individual strengths are kind of enough, that it ends up being okay here. Okay, so this is actually, like, probably the most unfortunate thing that could have happened for, like, a start of turn setup, just because we, ideally would put, like, Broly, Chila, and Lembo in the first slot because we can get 7 orbs right here for the guaranteed dodge, but then that means that the Broly in the third slot isn't going to have legendary power active, and we're going to do less damage. I guess the thing with that is, you know what, let's do that anyway. Just this will be a nice showcase to show off how, like, the difference in damage here between a friend Broly that's rainbowed, and my Broly that's, I think, only, like, what, 55% or so? I can't remember. Oh, okay, 79%. Yeah, and then with the legendary power link active and without, right? But there we go. We got the 7 links there, and then almost a 24 key super here. It looks like it'll be the same. Oh, perfect. It's 23 key for both of them. Okay, yeah, so that'll be a good side-to-side comparison. Especially because I think regardless of actually having the legendary power link active or not, the leader Broly is our weakest unit offensively on the team. Maybe even, well, probably not our weakest unit defensively. He does do a million super attacks and gets a lot of defense by the time he's done supering. So probably not our weakest defensively, but just considering that he has type disadvantage here is definitely going to make a difference for him. Okay, it looks like we did make the right choice. We did luck out a little bit there because the super attack was up there in the first slot, so we got to dodge that for free. Yay, Broly Trio. Okay, well, yeah, I guess I didn't really consider the critical hit portion, right? If he is getting critical hits, then obviously the fact that he's AGL isn't going to impact us that hard. But there you go, you can see without the critical hit there, he really is not doing that much damage, so... yeah, this is definitely not a unit that you really need to prioritize. Ideally, you wouldn't have 2 of them on turn 1, and then you could just hide him the entire fight. That's kind of the best idea. He really is only here for his leader skill, right? Because we could also use, just like a Cell Max leader or something like that, but you do lose a lot of percentage off the leader skill, and that's going to hurt the stats of all of your other units. So yeah, you do potentially have that option. I mean, also, there are a couple of good leaders you could use that are just TUR characters, right? Or if in general you didn't want to go with a full LR build, then you do have some other options, right? You could do like a full themed of like Broly cards, I guess, but you would be using like this same leader at that rate, so that wouldn't really make that much of a difference. You could go with a team of like full like Zamasus and Rosés, that kind of setup. You would have a couple of other good options for leaders there. But yeah, again, you would probably be relying on some TURs. So you guys saw how much weaker that was without the legendary power link active. That was rough. Okay, let's see here. Oof. Oh, man, the orbs are rough here. No. Shoot. Is there a way? I guess we have to do this? Yeah, that didn't even fall properly. Man, oh, this is so ugly. What do we do here? We're not going to get supers with, like, anyone. I guess what we can do is try to get... There's no way I can get... Wow, this is so bad. Okay, screw it. Just in the interest of time, I'm just going to click. I'm just going to click, and we're just going to get through. This was probably the most horrible run that I could have had with this team. Horrible slot 1, you know, turn 1 rotation, and then the orbs. As you can see, this is a quite key-hungry team as well, which is, you know, kind of goes along with what I was mentioning about the synergy of this team. It's funny, I don't think I had a run this bad throughout the 10 stages I did so far. This is definitely my worst bout. But nonetheless, we are doing okay defensively here. Let's see how Jiren tanks this without having gotten a super off first. We might take a little bit of damage here. Yeah, but nothing bad. Okay. Yeah, that's just the benefit of the sheer overall power of this team, right? Okay. Oh, yeah, Zamasu took a little bit there as well. Not the best, not the best. Alright. Yeah, we're kind of dealing with the same thing again, where the orbs suck. Let's see, not quite enough to get the... Oh, actually, that works out well with the Broly Chilai Lemo support, because then we push Rose over and he's able to get a super attack off. So that's going to be helpful for us. He'll do a little bit of damage there. He is actually one of the hardest hitters on this team, as you can see there, especially the critical hits. If we are able to get him, you know, his full 24 key super, which again is pretty tough because everybody is very hungry for key on this team. But if you are able to do it, then he could be launching, you know, like 3 attacks that are going to be like 17 million and then like followed by like 2 10 millions or something, right? So he can do a lot of damage for you. He would probably be your ace if you did like a full Zamasu team. So then, you know, aside from that, you do also have the option to run like a full Universe Survival Saga build. You've got a couple of different Jiren cards that you can run, as well as, you know, a lot of the other Universe 6 fighters are on super bosses. Just, again, the issue you run into there is that there's not a ton of LRs for you to run, and you are going to be relying on using quite a few different TURs at that rate. So yeah, all things to keep in mind as you do your team building. But yeah, this was simply a showcase of, you know, the strongest LRs on the team, just kind of thrown together. If you wanted to do a lazy build, yeah, this EZA definitely doesn't get like that hard by stage 10, where you're unable to, you know, complete it with a team like this. Let's go ahead and jump back in for one more run here, see if we can get some slightly better RNG, just to make this team not look so wonky. Okay, there we go. Only one Broly on turn 1. I'll definitely take that. Yeah, nice. Okay, so there we go. We've got a lot of orbs to select for Zamasu this time. So we're able to get that full 24 key super, and then it looks like we should be able to get at least that 12 key with Jiren, and then, nice, we have lots of AGL orbs for Broly, that 24 key super there. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that definitely looked a little bit better. Okay, so yeah, Zamasu definitely taking a little bit of damage on normals there. But post-super, obviously, he's going to look a lot better. I don't even think that he would have been, like, KO'd from a super attack there. Probably not. And now he definitely should be okay, right? After seeing the damage output that he can do, I'm thinking that even though he has type advantage, which is a nice touch, I think that the TEQ Zamasu would probably be a better option. I did choose to run the int one simply because of assuming that there would be more attack power there, but definitely not. I think that the TEQ Dokkan Fest Zamasu would probably be a better choice. Alright, getting a little bit of chip damage in here from Broly, which is nice. Okay, how is our next rotation looking? I think I saw that we had the Brolys, both Brolys there. Yeah, so we'll try and link up the Brolys. They'll have some decent links together. And then, depending on how the orbs look and stuff, we'll either put Rose in slot 1 or slot 3. I think the most ideal way to do the rotation would be to have Broly Trio up front, so they can be that slot 1 protection, assuming we get the 7 orbs so they can dodge, and then Broly in slot 2, and then the Rose, you know, finishing it up in slot 3. Yeah, we don't have the orbs for it. Okay, maybe I will just switch it up. Let's do this, then. We still are not going to have the orbs to accomplish what I want to here, unfortunately. We'll just do this. That way we can get a couple of orbs with Broly Trio. Man, yeah, that kind of sucks for Rose. Okay, well, I mean, that's okay. This is a very, very accurate showcase here for, you know, for, like, the things that this specific team build will struggle with, right? You have to be very, very careful with the key selection. It almost, like, couldn't hurt to maybe take off one of these LRs in place of a different LR that is not quite as key hungry, and or, like, straight up a TUR that's going to provide some really solid orb changing to help you, you know, have a better field of orbs on some given turns. Definitely could be something to consider. But yeah, there are a lot of different options with super bosses, and like I said earlier, this EZA isn't quite difficult enough that you really need to stress about it. As long as you're bringing a, you know, 200% team in here, you should be fine. And then obviously you do have the option to just ignore the super bosses requirement altogether and jump in here with just like a Beast Gohan team or something like that. And you know, these options just keep getting better and better and better because now we have the new 10th anniversary Dokkan Fests to rely on. You could just bring their teams, and they are so strong, and the units that you can bring on their teams are so strong that, you know, you can potentially just win these EZAs without having the super bosses, you know, the buff defense from being on super bosses at all. So yeah, that is definitely an option for you as well, right? Okay. This looks decent. And then we'll grab all of that for Zamasu. Cool. Alright, getting a little showcase in for Cell Max. He is probably our strongest defensive unit on the team. For sure. He's not going to be doing an insane amount of damage for us, but he is, he's definitely not going to be taking any damage, right? Okay, so we'll go ahead and finish up this run here, and then once this is complete, looks like it's about to be done on this turn here, which should be good. Then I think the next thing that we'll do is pop over to the wiki. I keep forgetting to do this in the last couple of EZA showcases that I've done. I forgot to do this, but this is something that I do like to do. There are some, you know, various utility units in the game that don't really heavily rely on, you know, the specific restrictions of any given EZA. They just have kind of universal abilities that will allow you, you know, to get further in EZAs. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and take a look at those units and see which ones could be viable potentially to use in this EZA stage, right? So let's go ahead and switch over to the web view here. Perfect. Okay, so these are the 5 units I've got listed. So the LR Metal Cooler here, obviously he just spawns into battle with a free revive. So, you know, if he takes a KO hit, then you are immediately going to revive with all your HP and then just come back to life on the next turn. So if you are, you know, struggling, I mean, super bosses is one of the smaller categories in the game. It is kind of niche, right? So if you're struggling to build a team and you need to throw in an extra unit, keep in mind that LR Cooler could be another good option. The reason why he'd be really good for this is because it's an LR EZA, and he has, you know, he is an LR, right? So he's still going to be providing that legendary power link skill to your characters while also having that revive available. So you could potentially just throw him in slot 3 on whatever turn, have your first 2 units do their attacks, get off some damage, and then he would, because he's not on super bosses, would basically guaranteed get KO'd by the end of the turn, you know, if he took a couple of hits, and then you would get the revive, but then he, being in slot 3, wouldn't come back for another 3 turns, and then you would have those extra couple of turns to, you know, finish off the fight before he had to, you know, suffer taking any more attacks. Because obviously, if he does take attacks for a second time, then you're just going to get KO'd, right? So yeah, he is an option for you. Obviously, you've got the Fat Boo. He is always a good option to be able to run on these EZA stages, as he does have the same exact ability as the Cooler. You know, with if he gets KO'd, he gets the guaranteed revive, and then post-revive, when he comes back around onto rotation, you actually get some additional protection because then he has his active skill turn, which is going to act as a Ghost Usher against it, right? So technically you're getting 2 guaranteed turns of survival with this unit. So this is always a good option. He's basically like the most universal utility unit in the game at this point. I think there's very, very few. Basically, the only EZAs you can't use this boo in are ones where you're facing off against multiple enemies, right? Because that Ghost Usher active skill only procs against a singular enemy at a time. So that is the thing that you're going to be, like, suffering with, right? But in this EZA, he definitely works. Then we have the TEQ androids. Obviously, they have the Ghost Usher active skill as long as the enemy is above, I think it's like 39% HP or something like that. So, you know, the very first time that they show up, you use the Ghost Usher active skill, you get a free turn of taking no damage, and then you just rotate them off. And then again, same deal as the other units here, you just have to make sure that you finish off the enemy before they have to take a round of attacks the next time they show up. So then we have Caulifla here, who coincidentally is on Super Bosses herself. So she does, you know, count as one of the effective units on the category. She just isn't an LR. But the other reason why it doesn't even matter about Super Bosses, she is a viable unit here, is because you're fighting against a pure Saiyan enemy. So she's going to have guaranteed dodge throughout the entire thing. So this is a very, very viable unit to use in this EZA here. And then bringing up the rear of the list, we have the Tech God Goku, who gets 77% damage reduction when facing a Pure Saiyan or movie boss's enemy. So because this is a Pure Saiyan, they are going to have that 77% damage reduction. I don't think, this day and age, I don't think that the 77% is enough on its own, because he's not on Super Bosses. So I think because he's not on one of the type effective categories, probably you wouldn't want to use this guy, I don't think. Maybe he could survive for you. Like, if you're really, really struggling with a lot of other units, maybe you could try him out and see if he has enough defensive power to, like, at least tank a couple of attacks. And then you could end up rotating him off. But just keep in mind, he's not on the leader skill. Most likely he won't be on the leader skill that you build, so he's not going to be providing any extra HP to your HP pool. He's going to be taking a lot more damage himself, probably even through that damage reduction, and he's not an LR, so he's not going to be providing that legendary power, buff to your units. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. Okay, so that is the list of utility units we have there. Now, the very last thing that I want to do is jump back into game and take a look at the new idle animations for the LR gods, because they did add those in for these EZAs. They have been doing that for basically every single new, like, EZA character that we've been getting. So, yeah, let me make a quick cut, and then we'll jump into battle and take a look at that. Okay, here we go. Oh, wow. Wait, that actually looks really good. I like that a lot. Hold on. Oh, my goodness. Wow, that's so cool. I love it. I think this is the first joined forces unit that we're seeing get an idle animation where there's actually 2 sprites, right? But I guess it makes sense that they have, separated motions between the 2 of them. Oh, I like that a lot. Holy crap, this just boomed a concept in my brain, about, like, all of the different joined forces units in the game. Obviously, there are a ton of, like, Dokkan Fest Goku and Vegeta cards that will be getting EZAs over time. So that's really, really exciting to see. Man, that looks so good. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, so I think I need to make another cut here, really quick, just to double check, because now I'm just realizing it's possible, looking at the enemy sprite there, it's also possible that they have a separate idle animation for when they turn into, when they transform into blue. We won't be able to do that here. I didn't even build a real team. I just replaced my leader on the team we were just using, just to show off the idle animation, but we'd get KO'd here probably. So yeah, let me jump into a different event where we can actually get their transformation off, and then we'll take a look at that. And I guess I'll do, a quick hunt to make sure that there actually is a new idle animation, and if there's not, then I guess I'll just be cutting straight to the outro here. Alright, we are ready to go here, so let's go ahead and get the gods transformed, and then we will take a look at their transformed idle animation here. Whoa. Wait, oh my goodness. Holy moly, it's it's like permanently changing the whole screen. Wait, what is that? Oh my gosh, wow, that looks crazy. Wow, oh, that looks so good. Okay, I need to actually turn up my brightness a little bit. My phone just dulled on me. Oh my goodness, look at the, like, pink and blue, like that, like, magenta right around their bodies. Oh my goodness, that looks so good. Wait, what the heck? Wow. That's quite interesting. Okay, well, it seems like they are already learning from their initial mistakes with some of those, you know, very, very early idle animation. Sorry about that. The old headset shut off. If you're a longtime viewer of the channel, you know, you know. So yeah, it seems like they're already learning from some of their mistakes with the earlier, you know, idle animations of the way that they kind of interrupt everything on the screen. While this is still technically taking over everything on the screen, you can still pretty easily see what's going on, right? You do have like the edge of their aura kind of, you know, flourishing over the right side of the orbs there, but it does work. I think Dokkan has definitely taken a big risk with these idle animations in the way that it does interact with the orbs, but I suppose because the actual gameplay of orb selection is such a low yield thing, right? And most of it is just a mental game of like figuring out what orbs are going to select what, knowing how things are going to drop. It's not like a very, you know, physical action, you know, type of thing. This isn't going to be too much of a hindrance, because there might be a couple of times where you do have to take a bit of a pause, just to take an extra second to select your orbs if the idle animation is kind of being a bit of a nuisance to you. Man, I can't even imagine for someone that might be colorblind, these probably would be a bit of a nightmare sometimes. But yeah, like, you know, I can't see it being too difficult for people. The only time I could see these idle animations being a problem really would be during timed missions, right, where you're trying to move as quickly as possible and select orbs as quickly as you can. Having some of these idle animations, you know, have the get in the way of the orb selection could be an issue. But I've talked about this before, right? At least if you are moving quickly and selecting orbs instantly, you do have a second right when they show up, where they do their little, you know, flex and charge up, where they're not actually covering the screen. So I guess in a timed mission setting, you would technically want to already select the orbs by the time that shows up. I guess just for science, we'll go ahead and select orbs here and see if we can select orbs before that aura shows up. Yeah, no, it's kind of right at the same time, because as the new orbs are falling, they are doing the charge up, and then as soon as the orbs have fallen and they're available for you to select, that's the moment when they do pop and charge over the whole thing. So it's kind of that same thing that we have been experiencing before, you know, where they, like, it's a little bit jarring that at the very moment you're about to select key spheres is the same moment that they, you know, that they, like, the idle animation pops and, like, disrupts the board, right? Okay, well, that is everything, basically, that I have here today for this EZA. That is going to do it. I did decide to go ahead and run the Transforming Goku Dokkan event because I was very low on the medals here. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and finish up this event off camera here, no big deal. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think of that idle animation, and let me know what you think of the character kits. They are quite a good unit post-EZA, so let me know how excited you are to use them, and if there's any, you know, fights that they have helped you take down. So that's going to do it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the links in the description below, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace!